How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about MULN and as well as for Polestar. I want to make sure you guys are prepared going into next week. We want to take a look at some price levels and see where they could possibly go. So let's start off with MULN. So we can see that it closed at 83 cents, being up 1.82%. On the low, it tested 78 cents, and then on the high, testing 86 cents. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 90.117 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 60.368 million shares. So we had above average volume on the day, and we saw some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a 4-hour chart, here's what I want to bring to your attention. If you remember what I said in my previous video, MULN has been able to show support when it's pulling back close to the mid 70-cent range. Not only did we get to this level, you can see that we've gained some momentum, and we've shown this in the past as well, and we got to the 50 EMA at 85 cents. We did see a high at 86 cents. So this is a very bullish sign, and plus we are trading above the 9 and as well as the 21. You can see the 9 crossing over the 21, and this is giving us a bullish signal. So going into Monday, we want that retest at 86 cents. If we're able to break above that level, then the next area we can start seeing some resistance is around 89 cents. If we break 89 cents, then the next level that you want to watch is around 95 cents. If we could break 95 cents, that's where we can see MULN trading right at $1, and I know many of you are looking forward to that. Now, if we end up having some weakness inside of the stock, then it would have to be trading below 75 cents. But in my personal opinion, I think this momentum could continue. We are seeing higher lows as well, and it is looking fairly strong. So make sure you add that to your notes, because from what I'm seeing so far, I think it would be a really good look if we can have MULN form in that cup. And I'm going to draw it out for you guys so you see it for yourselves. We could have it right here. We have the setup. And when we come around here and we get to 95 cents, I feel like that would be the best case scenario, getting right to that level. So let's see what happens going into next week. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for MULN. So scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for the 12th, we have Barclays PLC that purchased 11,561 shares. We also have Laidlaw Wealth Management LLC that purchased 25,000 shares. We have Credit Suisse that purchased 18 shares. Claro Advisors LLC that purchased 67,500 shares. Emeritus Investment Partners Inc. that purchased 1,138 shares. And LPL Financial LLC that purchased 21,801 shares. And Renaissance Technologies LLC, very well known firm, at 44,914 shares. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 53.86%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 35.21 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.6 million, updated 26 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 33.63%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 11th, it is at 52.03, and then for the close of the 12th, being at 53.86. So it's gone up a bit, and then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 17%, MULN does continue to have short squeeze potential. So let's see if it could continue its momentum going into next week. Let's take a look at the chart for Polestar. So we ended up closing at $9.75, being down 1.91%. On the low, we tested $9.66, and then on the high, testing $10.12. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 1.48 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 1.528 million shares. So we had below average volume, and we also seen a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a 4-hour chart, the first thing that you guys can notice, we are on a solid uptrend. We also need to take mind of the fact that we are doing a good job riding alongside that 21 EMA, finding that support. Like I said, we saw a low at 966, and the 21 EMA is at 966. So knowing that we bounced off this level and we saw a high at $10.12 going into next week, what do we want to see? We want to see Polestar not only getting back into $10, but I want to see that break above $10.21, as you can see over here. Breaking through this resistance, that's where we could see Polestar wanting to trade at $10.51. So I would keep that on very close watch. And breaking above that level, that's where we could see Polestar getting to 10.71 and then essentially wanting to see that move going to $11. But that's only if this uptrend does continue. As far as for the downside is concerned, I wouldn't start being bearish unless we fall below the 50 EMA, which is at $9.47. Breaking below that level and then seeing prior weakness, we can start going down to $9.14. But we have been able to show support around these ranges, so I'll be expecting bulls wanting to come in. If they do not come in, that's where we can see the sell-off continue, and of course you'll start seeing it trade around $8.80, which we have seen there's a lot of support within these ranges. But in my personal opinion, I want to see some further upside. The chart looks strong. I want to see that move going to 1021 and see if we can make that move to 1050 for the coming week. Let's see what happens. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Polestar. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for 12, we actually have quite a bit. So let's get through it. So we have PPAC Gladstone Financial Corp that purchased 10,000 shares, Bank of America that purchased 219,200 shares, sizable position, Wells Fargo and Company that purchased 250 shares, LPL Financial LLC that purchased 40,985 shares. We also have Geode Capital Management LLC that purchased just over 1.5 million shares. We have Barclays and the put value of 49,600 shares, Hudson Bay Capital Management LP with a put value of 70,000 shares, and Sculptor Capital LP with a put value of 55,700 shares. HRT Financial LP that purchased 361,264 shares, Credit Suisse that purchased 600 shares, and we have Barclays PLC that purchased 21,000 shares. Again, those are the filings for the 12th. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 55.75%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is at 474,209 shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 0, updated just now, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 166.47%, so it still continues to be up there. And then when we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 11th, it is at 58.19, and then for the close of the 12th, being at 55.75. So you can see it went down a little bit, and then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 0.49%, this puts Polestar in a really interesting situation, considering that the short borrow fee is as high as it is, and we know that shorts are vested in this play. I feel if we continue to have price action to the upside and have a continuation of volume, it will continue to go up. And also keeping an eye on the market conditions. It has been showing a lot of strength, and that's why we want to see what it does going into the coming week, even though it did have a pullback on the Friday, which we saw from the charts. That is perfectly healthy. So that pretty much sums up the video for you guys. So let's see how MULN and Polestar perform, but I'm looking forward to seeing some more upside and them getting to those key levels that I was talking about. But also make sure whatever strategy that you decide to use, it coincides of what your game plan is going to be. So whether you're an investor or whether you are a trader, they are distinctively two different things, and you just want to make sure that you're going in a direction that you want to go and you're not just following the crowd. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing, and if you got a lot of value from the video, make sure you hit that like button. Enjoy your weekend and get ready for the market when it opens on Monday. We'll talk soon.